Ice water, please. Turned into one. I didn't think I drank that many beers that quick.
oi, oi, oi. It's a little low. All right. Hello, everybody. Louis talking again. We are back on live streaming. Let's talk a little bit about bowling, and we have a very interesting squad going on. A lot of good bowlers on the lanes. And I have a guest with me. It's going to be very special to talk to. Killian, welcome. Thank
Hello,
you
hello.
for enjoying us. You've been playing already a couple of squads?
Just one squad, and
Just one squad?
I got another one later today.
So you're bowling the second squad today.
Yes.
And how did the first one go?
Not too great. Got a good game, game five, where I found it, but I was too late with my moves. To
hmm
stayed with two strong balls for too long. Couldn't keep up with transition there.
That pattern is a little bit tricky. It looks like we all do the same mistake. I'm going to include myself because when I did the analysis on day one, it was like, okay, 29 mils, 44 feet, and so. But then when you start to analyze it a little bit more in deepness, you realize the oil is not going that far down. It's actually stopping around 20 something feet, and then it's just a brush pushing it down. So it's not that big of a cut. And what I've been seeing is that a lot of bowlers have been doing the same. They have been grabbing a little bit too strong balls, strong covers, and especially strong cores inside. So what I've seen is, especially on the young ones, they have been trying to compensate that early motion by creating more speed, trying to push the ball a little bit more, but then they're losing the control. And since this pattern doesn't have that much room on any of the sides, they're not succeeding. What I see today different already, and some of the PBA bowlers and some of the good bowlers, they have chosen to go with a little bit weaker material, a little bit higher RG balls. And I'm expecting that's going to work a lot better for them. That's going to allow them to control the middle lane a little bit more. And probably we're going to see some higher squats on this squat we are watching now. What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, sir. I completely agree. We're also seeing a couple of the pros now moving more to the right, starting more to the right. Trying to keep their angles a little tighter. It seems to be working. For example, Ryan Barnes there had a pretty good game. Ernesto is also through 278 with a stronger ball, but still staying right. Be interesting to see how they move this squad after some of the lower scores in the past squads.
That is also one of the things that we have to remember for those who are watching. Due to the format in the pair of lanes where you're starting, you are gonna end on the sixth game. So you don't wanna overdo whatever you're doing on that first pair. So when you get back there, you make sure you still have some oil on the lane. You don't want to start too deep inside and start burning the area from the beginning because when you get back there on the sixth game, it's going to be nearly impossible to find any oil left on the heads or the middle lane. That you're going to have to fly the left gutter and stuff like that. So, what's your plan for when you bowl on the second squad?
As I'm seeing here, I'll probably try and keep right a little bit more. Also switch a little faster to a more shinier cover, something less strong, something a little bit weaker to control that mid lane. As we're looking at Ryan Barnes, for example, here, he's doing a good job with that even at the start already.
Mhm.
Same for Martin. He saw him throwing an IQ tour down the lane. Also a weaker ball, very controllable ball,
Mhm.
right side of the lane. So I'm interesting to see how these pros will continue on in the next few games.
We have seen a few different approaches so far. We saw also, for example, AJ Johnson is bowling on this squad as well. He was bowling already a little bit deeper, around 22, 23 on the arrows. But on the contrary, for example, the guy from Malaysia, Hakim, is still the leader on the tournament with 175 over. But today he was bowling quite further outside, quite straighter. It's not swinging the ball out at all. He's using a very shiny ball right from the start, and it's looking quite consistent. If we look at the scoring, we have a few high games. We have Ernesto with 278. We have Tun with Hakim actually 256. So it seems that it had worked pretty good for him. That strategy to go a little bit straighter from a little bit further outside. Um, the thing is, when you go a little bit further outside, you want to make sure you don't miss. If you miss out, then it's going to be game over right away. So it's fine that you move a little bit further out, but you need to keep your angles pretty straight, and you have to keep the ball a little bit weaker, your hand position also a little bit weaker, the speed on the ball quite consistent, and that maybe will allow this particular squad to remain having some room on the left for a little longer than we have been watching on the first few days of competition.
Yes, sir. Talking about Hakim and his previous squad that he played, even during game 5 and 6, he was playing much straighter to the pockets for his keeping his angles very close to the pockets, and seems to work for him.
He's a very, very, very consistent bowler. He's a lot stronger when you see him live than when you see him on TV. He's one of those bowlers that TV doesn't really pay out for what he's doing. But when you see him on the lanes and you're right behind him watching him bowl, it's like this guy can bowl like more than it actually looks on TV. It's pretty firm, pretty consistent, a lot of accuracy, a lot of repetition. So we wouldn't be surprised if he would be one of the ones to crack the first 1400.
Yes, sir, absolutely. He was doing pretty good here game 1 with his Infinity Quest up the gutter.
Mhm. So, game one is already almost over. We have just on lane 9 and 10. They are ending on the 10th frame. But for what I can see, we have Ethan Fury with 220. We have Martin Larsen, 224. We had Ernesto with 278. We said Hakim had 250. I don't remember, 56, I think it was, I believe.
Yes, sir, Ryan Barnes with a 235.
And then we have Magnus with 228 as well. So it looks like this squad started a little bit higher, but we have also seen on previous days that the first two games, we have seen many people reaching 480, 470, 460. And as soon as the transition really started to show up on games 3 and 4, people starting to struggle. And it's not also as simple when you moving a couple of pairs every game, because that means after game 3 and 4, you're moving to a pair so far away from when you started that you really have no idea what they were doing with that lane before you got there.
Yes, sir, indeed.
And we just saw Ethan on lane 19 and 20. He just missed a little bit out, and he just showed exactly what I was telling you guys. If you miss a little bit too far to the right, then the pattern doesn't help you. He didn't even, not that he didn't hit the head pin, he didn't hit the 3 pin. So his ball went all the way to the 6 and 10. He's got 5 on frame 1. Surely he's going to spare. I think he's going to spare. But it's even such talented bowlers like that can get some problems when the lane is not that open up as we are lately used to.
Yes, sir, the pattern is a interesting puzzle this year, which some are still trying to solve, most of the bowlers on the fields.
And I was telling yesterday that it must be a relief for amateur bowlers when they see professionals shooting a 160 game in this kind of pattern, because then it's going to kind of telling you everybody can have issues. Everybody can get himself into trouble if the lane is that complex, is that complicated, until you find the right spot, until you start using the right community, the right material. Find the right spot, find the right material. Don't go too aggressive on your angles. Also, you don't want to be too aggressive with your shot, because then you start losing the aiming and the control. And so it's kind of one of those patterns that it demands you to do a lot of things in the right way. You need to be aware of your spot. You need to be aware of your precision. You need to be aware of which ball are you going to use at every moment. You need to be very sharp at changing ball. You cannot take too long to do those changes. And it's a very interesting event, actually. I'm having a lot of fun by watching these days.
Yes, sir. It also shows once again what separates the pros from the amateur bowlers is how quickly they find a solution to the pattern, and how they think on solving this problem of having a bad squad, what happened last squad, and how they continue on for their next squads.
Yesterday, for example, during the warm-up, we had Andrew Anderson. He was shooting strike after strike after strike, but then when he began, the transition was already there for him during the warm-up and frame 1, 2. So he shot 160 on game 1, and it looked like he was going to go for a 300 game. Then, of course, professional like him, understanding the game and finding quick solutions. Then he started shooting 250, 240, 230. So he found his way out of the hole pretty quickly. But uh, that's one of the reasons why we keep pushing the amateurs to try to understand as much as they can about the modern bowling. The material now is a lot stronger than it used to be. The balls suck a lot more oil than they used to do back in the day. That forces also the guys who produce the patterns or design the patterns to try to put more oil than they did 15, 20 years ago. And all those variables, they go faster and faster, and they are bigger and bigger. So you really need to be awake and really need to get some knowledge if you want to succeed on any kind of condition.
Yes, sir. If you're too late with your switch to the right ball or to try and keep up with the transition, your next game might as well be a 160 instead of a 220.
Mhm. And another important thing, when it's so tough, you need to make sure you get all your spares. If you are not good on sparing when you're not striking 8 frames per game, then you're going to get yourself into a bigger trouble.
Absolutely. We saw that with, for example, Andrew having a couple of bad games, and then he caught up with those 250s, 240s, but still hard to string a lot of strikes together. And it's the open frame in between that ruins the game. But if you're able to spare, you'll still shoot a 220, 230 out there.
Mm. So on this squad at the moment, we have 37 bowlers out of 40 possible places. So it's pretty full for being a weekday office time, we could say. People is in the office, most of them. So the fact that we have so many bowlers proves how successful this edition is also being, and how many bowlers we have wanting to compete against the very best in the world. We have already the scores for game one, and at the moment is Ernesto Reynoso from United States, young, super talented kid, is on the lead with 278. Then we have Hakim Tun from Malaysia, 256. Then we find Ryan Barnes with 235, Sean Rush with 230. Sean seems to like the fresh. He shot 270 yesterday on his first game.
Yes,
Today is
sir.
on 230. Then we have a couple of Swedes. Johannes Magnusson with 228, Martin Larsen 224. German is showing back again. Dennis Linnard with 221, Ethan Fury 220, Pontus Folkhold, Sweden 213. Then we have Dan Harding from England with 213. Christian Azcona from Puerto Rico is on 208, and Jesper Agerbo from Denmark. He was the leader on the last squad. He's on 206. So that means we have 12 bowlers above par at the moment. We have a lot of good bowlers going on, and on the squad we can see also Nora is giving another attempt. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to pay attention to a lot of people, and we start to see a lot of strikes as well. We have, for example, on lane 17 and 18, we have Kevin Mellin with a 4-bagger, and he did a couple of good attempts during the week. He was striking a lot, but it's more of the same that we have been seeing. At some point, after a couple of 250 games, all of a sudden you get to a pair that's a little bit tougher. You're not fast enough to find the real solution. You get a couple of speeds, you make 1 or 2 bad shots, boom, 150, 160, maybe 170, and that drops you down like very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Scores aren't high, but those bad games in between do make you play catch up to make it further down the 1300s even.
Another guy who from United States we have with us is Gary Haynes. He started with 187, but now he's bowling on 13 and 14, started with strike. So maybe he's also starting to feel comfortable and finding where he wants to be on the lanes. Other bowlers that we can mention with some name, we have Mike Stumpy, Don Harding is also on the lanes at the moment. It's a lot of talent. You need at least 4 or 5 pairs of eyes if you want to really follow everything that it's going on. Uh, Before I forget to remember everyone who's watching, we will kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel. It's 100% free, and the reason why we want you to subscribe is so we don't have to do any crazy things, and we don't have to charge for anything, and YouTube is going to take care of everything. So if you are kind enough, we will ask you to subscribe into our channel. It's going to be not only the Lucky Larsen event during the whole week, every single frame and every single shot on the alley you can see online, but also during the year they're gonna have a lot of PBA regional Sweden. They're gonna have also some national Swedish league, which is an spectacular. It's something that you really want to witness. And yeah, we have a question for you actually, Killian. Yari is asking, Killian, career switch.
Well, after my shitty squad yesterday, I might take it into consideration, actually.
And for the guy who's texting in Korean, I tried to find this morning. I promise you, I went to a shop to try to get a dictionary, but I couldn't find one. So if you have to any way to text in English, I promise you, I'm gonna answer to you. But while you keep texting in Korean, I have no way to understand what you're telling us. So my apologies that I cannot really comment back.
Yeah, they asked me whether I could understand it, but I'm not doing much better in here.
Mm. Then we have Unai from Bilbao is also joining us. He says Ethan looks good. Yes, Ethan looks very good. And for people who bowls two hands like you do, Unai, it's one of those guys that you want to see and learn. He's a very, very, very good two-handed bowler. He's a little bit different from what we are used to see on two-handed bowlers. He's not as aggressive with the ball. He's very good on the follow-through.
He's got an amazing touch. Amazing touch going down lane 19 right now. And there we go with the messenger.
The first time I saw this kid, it was like, ooh, this guy does it a lot better. It was
Yes,
like in a way, in my head, it was like finally someone has cracked how it should be done with two hands. And that is something like, how can you say that when Jason Belmonte is the most successful bowler, blah, blah, blah. But I would say Jason, Osku, even Kyle, Anthony, this is pure talent, just pure talent. They started bowling two hands, they became super good at two hands, but it's not really, uh, it doesn't look like old school bowling.
no.
And when I look at Ethan bowl with two hands, even if it's two hands, it reminds me a little bit of old school bowling. And old school bowling was a little bit more of aiming, control, knowing exactly, not so much about power. Not that he doesn't have the power. Obviously, he's got the reps, he's got the power. But it looks a little bit more like he's in control of what he wants to do.
Yes, absolutely. I love seeing him play. He's got amazing touch, also with the open hand at the end of the follow through. Reminds me of Pete Weber,
Hmm.
also a very talented young player in the US. Jillian Martin does the same. It's these players that play with a lot of touch in the ball, and for now, for Ethan, it's paying off at the moment.
It could be a very, very demanding pattern for most of the two-handers because we are what we see usually with two-handers is that they play a lot of gripping. They try to produce a lot of speed and a lot of rep rate. Everything is about the power. And this pattern we are bowling on, it doesn't really allow you to go that strong. It wants you
No.
to be a little bit smoother and have a little bit better control.
Yes, sir. You gotta be able to play consistently. Also, something very hard for myself and a lot of bowlers that I know is keeping speed in check,
Mm,
being able to slow down when needed to, or speed the ball back up whenever needed to is a very hard thing to master.
absolutely. Okay, let's go back to the lanes. We have on lane 3 and 4, we have the Swedish senior Oscar Brostroms with spare and 5 bagger. Then if we move to lane 5 and 6, Mike Stumpy started with 3 in a row. Don Harden started with front 4. If we move to 7-8, we find Hakim, who started with a split, but now he's already on a spare and a triple. If we move to 9 and 10, we find Ernesto, who also started with an open frame, but he's already on a double spare strike, so he's probably going to start striking right away. Magnus Johannes, he was doing quite okay, and now he's having a turkey. We have Ryan Barnes also running with a turkey and 9 spare. Uh, 13 and 14, we find Gary Haynes. He started with a triple, but now he made 8 and 1. Who else is over there? AJ Johnson, after a 160 game, is seems to have been finding a little bit more of what he wants to do. already working on a double. People's doing okay on this game. We have Kevin Melin on 17 and 18, started with the front 6 and 9 spare. Sean Rush just made a split. He was pretty close to spare it. It was a 2 for 10. The 2 just stood beside the 10. It was a little bit too light, but he's on the turkey, so he's above par, and he just made another strike. So let's see. Ethan already 4 in a row. He's gonna shoot on lane 19 now. Let's see if he can get the 5th one. And he's already working on 3 steps. Yeah, that looked very good. Does it look simple, right?
He makes it look so easy.
For a one-handed bowler like I do, when you see him, it makes you think like, yeah, I could do that too. Then it's not that easy as it looks.
Well, until we try it ourselves and horribly fail.
Mm. Okay.
Alright, on 18, Kevin Mellon, another strike after a spare. He's doing pretty good this game.
Again, it seems to be a little bit higher scoring, but it has been the impression I've been having on games one and two for quite a few squads already. I'm pretty interested to see what goes on game 3 and 4, when people already finds a real transition and the lanes start to push them deeper and deeper, and then we will have to see what goes on then.
Yes, sir. I'm also interested seeing Ethan Fiore here doing pretty well on 19-20, as these are the low game lanes. Seems to be all week.
Yesterday was a lot of low games also on 17-18. So it seems like these 4 lanes are a little bit more demanding. But it also, I think it has a lot to do on who has been bowling on the warm-up there. If you have people who's the first time was bowling on the event, and they don't really have an idea, they start to try a lot of different things during the warm-up, and then I'm not gonna say they destroy the lane, but they make it a little bit tougher because it's creating different paths. And it's not really opening up the lane, it's not really pushing the oil down, it's becoming something in between.
Yes, sir. As somebody in the chat is saying, Ethan looks more comfortable with the 3-step approach. He seems to be working for him, yes.
He does it very good, definitely he does it very good, and since he's bowling 2 hands, it matches his timing perfectly. He just have to push the ball on the left foot at the same time, and then it's on the right timing. It's one of the things that amateur bowlers who have started bowling with 1 hand and then they switch to 2 hands, they have a lot of issues with balance and with control, and they are always late on the timing. It's late or early. What I mean is that late, I mean that feet and the ball are getting into the foul line at the same time, so I should be early, not late. But they should understand when you switch from 1 hand to 2 hands, your swing is going to be a lot shorter. I mean a lot shorter. So all that space that the ball is not moving behind you, you have to gain it some way. So either start pushing the ball on the push away 1 step later, probably shorten up the approach, and also increase the speed of the legs. Otherwise, you're not going to have any speed on the ball. When we bowl one-handed, we have a high swing on the back, and inertia and gravity are going to produce a lot of that speed. When you have such a short swing, unless you can create some speed with the legs, you're not going to have any chance.
Yes, sir, indeed. The legs are so important for one-handers and even more important for two-handers to keep your legs under you and moving at the right speed.
There's a lot of people that says, oh, I have no balance. You tell them you have to speed up your legs. No, how am I going to speed up if I have no balance already? Okay, then look at the best bowlers out there. One-hander or two-handers, they have very high speed on the legs. You don't see any super good bowler with that pace of 1, 2, 3, 4 on the feet. All of them is
Yep.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Indeed. We have a question here from Andreas. Could a shiny new blue hammer be a solution for this oil pattern? I do not know. I haven't seen any of those go down the lane a lot. It might not be strong enough during the first set of games. Maybe later on in the block it might be a solution, but I have not seen many players try this so far.
I would say it also depends on what's your speed, what's your rev rate. It's not the same if you have like 350 rev rates and 25 kilometers per hour, or if you have 22 kilometers per hour and 600 rev rate. So everything it's a little bit depending on which kind of bowler you are. Actually, a shiny new blue hammer wouldn't be such a bad idea. Uh, but it would require, since it's going to be shiny, it would require for you to be quite consistent on at least the first couple of games until you can move a little bit in and use that small area that's going to be created on your outside. Don't get me wrong, it's not apparent that after 3 or 4 games you can miss 10 boards to the outside. It's only going to be like 1 or 2 boards on the break point to the right, maybe 1 board to the left if you have the right ball. Definitely, what you don't want to have is a super strong ball that's going to read too early on the middle lane, because then it's never going to give you any hold on the left. That's going to make you push it even stronger. Then you're going to lose some consistency, and you're going to be more inconsistent. You're not going to be aiming or hitting your target as much as you wanted. So it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. If that is the ball you would have on the kind of a weak ball you would have in the back, it's not a bad idea. Yesterday, for example, I was talking to Carl Eklund. By the end of the squad, they were using pretty strong balls, even if they were shiny covers. They were balls with low RG, high differential. So even if they can produce the speed on the ball was kind of wanting to read too early. The ball would want to go left, and as soon as they miss 1 board to the left, they would never get the hold.
No, exactly. I see we have Linda Barnes in the chats. Yes, Ryan is doing pretty good so far. He has 2 in a row in the 8th frame. We'll see where that goes. What I'm noticing though is a lot of the bigger players are making very big moves already in game 2. Ryan Barnes has made a big jump left, as well as Hakim Toon has made a big jump left as well.
I didn't see Linda was watching. Linda, nice to talk to you. It's Luis over here. For what you texting, I believe you and your husband not coming this year. We're gonna miss you. You're always welcome. You are always more than kind and welcome in Sweden. So hopefully next year you make it again. And no worries about Ryan. We'll take good care of him. Off the lanes, on the lanes, I know he can take care of himself. And thank you for your comments. Shall we back to scoring? Let's see what goes on. We have Kevin Mellin is going to shot 259 on lanes 17 and 18. Ethan Fury had a couple of splits on 9th and 10th frame, so he just made 200. Sean Rush, if he doubles, is going to go all the way to 222, so not a bad game. Nora, she missed the single pin, but she shot 220, so she's back on over par, 411 for her. Then, what was Ryan bowling at the moment? I lost him.
He's bowling there on, what is it, 11, 12? Yeah.
11, 12. Over there, yeah, he's got a couple of spares, turkey spare double, and he's going to shoot now on 12 to get another strike. Yeah, he's a little bit deeper than he was, that's for sure. We can see on his standing position. Start position is a little bit deeper, and shooting somewhere around 20 something. And he got a lovely strike. He's looking a lot more solid than he did yesterday. Probably it was good for him to have a first squad, try a few different things, find out what's going to work best, what's not going to work that good. And this guy's got a lot of potential.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
he's
He
got
had
a super successful season on the PBA Tour. It was very fun to watch his shows, even if he had not the best of the luck, but it was a very strong performance. And I have to tell you, it's one of the YouTube channels I take a look from time to time. It's Ryan's and Chris. It's very fun to see, especially when they do things together. And
absolutely. Yep, I'm excited to see him on the tour next year. I think if he continues the way he's going, he will potentially be one of the big ones, like his dad.
yeah, absolutely, it runs on the genes. I mean, with those genes, that DNA, there's nothing else it can be done and perform well. AJ Johnson, 15 and 16, is working on a higher game now. He's going to recover from that low first game. but we wouldn't expect anything else from PBA Star, right?
Absolutely. I'm interesting to see where he goes the next few games.
Jesper Abergo, the guy from Denmark, he was the leader on the squad yesterday night. It's already at 443 after 2 games. His partners on the lane are not doing that well. We have Laura with 245 after 2 games and Joey with 338. Robin Persson 367 is not so high either. Eric Jones 348. As you can see, the people who have some issues to find the right spot, it becomes very tricky. It demands a lot of not only focus but patience, I would say, if you don't get. And that's one of the things I've been seeing during the week, especially on the young ones. They have got used, especially European ones, they have got used to do so much striking during the weeks and during the days. As soon as they only strike 3 or 4 times per game and they have to spare 6, 7 times per game, it's like not only they become a little bit more tense, but they get exhausted by the end of the day.
Yes, sir. It's I would say it's also a mental thing in the youth these days, as patterns are easier. Bowling balls are strong, striking a lot of messengers going down the lane, and whenever the pattern is quite hard and there's not a lot of strikes going down, you have to stay strong mentally, adjust, find the right line, and make the spares to make sure you don't have too bad of a game.
Absolutely. I see in the comments we still get a lot of Korean text, but unfortunately I still don't. I still don't get it. I hope you're not complaining, and hopefully you're having just a lot of fun. Okay, Martin Larsen. Oh, Martin also had one single ping on, 185 on that 15 and 16. That's gonna drop down a little bit to 400. He had 224 and 185, so he's on 9 over after 2. AJ is looking a lot better on this pair. He's gonna go for 248, so he's gonna go up to 10 over as well.
Ryan Barnes ends up with 471 after 2.
That's pretty good. And Ernesto 192, so 470. That's probably gonna put Ryan on the lead, unless Hakim did okay. What was Hakim bowling? It's too many
He's
lanes.
bowling on lane 8.
True.
He's
True.
going for 3
212.
strikes.
212, so it's gonna be 460 for him.
Ooh,
470.
yep.
469. No, yeah, 469. No, 467. Oh, I need to clean my glasses. I don't see anything.
Nope, he's also doing pretty good. A little bit less of a game than last one. He made a big move left.
And also a big move back from Christian Azcona from Puerto Rico. He shot to 40 on lane 19 and 20, which is a pretty good score. And he moved up to 448. Game 2 is almost done. We just have a couple of guys having to end their 10th frame. And as soon as we have that, we will refresh the scoring and we will update, because if it's a little bit tough for us with so many screens, I guess when they are on YouTube, they can only choose one camera on one pair or a couple of pairs. So it's harder for them to know exactly what goes on around the whole block. So if you give us a couple of minutes, as soon as we can refresh the scoring, we will let you know exactly how things are standing after 2 games.
Yes, sir. Looks like in the chat that we have somebody who understands Korean a little bit.
Uh-huh. He's just trying to teach us how to bowl. Okay, I appreciate that. Maybe you got me a little bit old for that, but anyone else who's reading and learning something, it's good. We always appreciate when people is trying to help the bowling community and make the sport bigger and make the sport better. So thank you very much for your comments. I'm just curious, how come you can understand what he's saying? Ida Flund. ChatGPT, we say by the technician. I don't know, maybe she speaks Korean or maybe she works on a Korean restaurant. It's many different possibilities out there. Maybe she's working on a 5-star hotel in Korea. If that's the case and you can get us a free room. Just kidding, obviously. I love Korean food, by the way. Really, really good. We have a couple of new restaurants in Barcelona. They just opened up and they are really, really good. I'm a big fan of Japanese food, not so much about Chinese, but I recently discovered Korean food in Barcelona and I'm enjoying it very, very much. Oh, my lovely friend Google Translate. Okay, that's good. Well, thank you for letting us know. Uh, I hope it would translate directly before texting, and it would be easy for us to read and we could answer back.
We have somebody saying that you can use Google Lens to live translate here. Might be a little hard on the stream with all screens going at the same time.
I was going to say the same. We have already enough issues trying to follow what goes on as if we have to start to translate what they're saying at the same time. But thank you for the tip as well. Okay, game three, it's on. We only have a slight delay on 17-18. It looks like something happened with the machines because Macro has not finished his 10th frame unless he has withdrawn.
Yes, and on lane 3 and 4 we have an interesting matchup. Ethan Fury over there, Toon Hakim as well. Let's see what they put down this game.
So if you guys connect to the cameras on lanes 1 to 4, you have Sean Reich on 1 and 2. You have Hakim Toon on 3 and 4, and you also have Ethan Fury on 3 and 4. The next camera setting on 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, it's also quite interesting. You can see Ryan Barnes over there. He's bowling really, really good today. So when this kind of bowler is on fire, you don't want to miss the action. On 9 and 10, 11, 12, we have Gary Haynes, we have Mike Stumpy, and we have Don Harding, and then we have Martin Larsen, Elias Rickardsson. So it's quite an interesting camera as well to follow into. If you're looking for young talent as well, on lane 13 and 14, we have Nora Johansson, the local Swedish star, and Ernesto Reynoso, who is also two-handed, young guy, and pretty cool to watch. On the same camera, on the pair by his side, we have Christian Azcona from Puerto Rico and Magnus Johannes, who was doing quite okay. And then on 17-18, we have Jesper Agerbo, who was from Denmark, the leader of yesterday night's squats. And we have AJ Johnson facing the scary pair of 19 and 20. And now we have the scores have been updated. So we have Ryan Barnes on the top of the list with 71 over. Linda must be very happy at the moment, and hopefully it stays like that. If I were you, Linda, I would keep watching all day long because you seem to bring good luck to Ryan. So I would stay and keep on pushing with good vibes. Second position, Ernesto Reynoso, 470 after 278, 192. Hakim is on third place, 256, 211, so that's 67 over for him. Number 4, this is the Swedish guy, Kevin Mellin, 451, 193, 258. Number 5, we have Christian Azcona, Puerto Rico, 448, 208, 240. Jesper from Denmark is on 6th place with 443. Then we have Sean Reich with 437. Johannes Magnusson, 435. And we can go all the way up to 16 bowlers who are still on the par. So this squad has begun with a little bit higher average than we have been seeing so far. But, and here comes a big but with capital letters, almost like in Las Vegas, you know, shining. What's gonna happen on game 3 and 4? Transition is coming up. Is it gonna get into play? We start to see already some people moving in, and I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what goes on today because, as we said, we have seen some bowlers using a little bit weaker covers and weaker cores and starting a little bit further outside. So maybe the lane remains, I'm not going to say easy, but not so tough to play a little bit longer. And that should allow the squad to remain on a higher score pace than we have been watching before.
Yes, sir. We have Andreas in the chat. He's also interested to see where the professionals go when it dries up later in this block.
Well, some of them will go home and cry, and just kidding. Um,
Or drink, also.
Yesterday, when we had with us both Andrew Anderson and later on Francois Leroy, they had a little bit different ideas on how to do it, but it was fun to see. For example, Andrew was believing it that as soon as all the PBA bowlers are on play, the lanes are going to burn even quicker. So that's going to push people even deeper and having to do a little bit of lofting and stuff like that. So the lanes could actually become a little bit tougher than they are at the moment. Then Francois was suggesting that maybe they understand quicker that they don't have to use so much rev rate, that they can let the ball do the job a little bit more, try to bowl a little bit smoother on the hand, weaker hand, we could say, not only weaker balls but weaker hand, and probably that would let them bowl a little bit higher.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I'm still hoping I was right at the beginning of the week when I said the cut would probably be 150 over. It doesn't look not even close at the moment, but I'm gonna keep on praying so I don't look like an ass. And but we'll see, we'll see. It's a lot of things going on. Also, the weather is gonna change from tomorrow. It seems like it's gonna be a little bit more humidity. It's gonna be some more rain. Uh, Other factors that are going to change is going to be a lot more people in the bowling alley, so the bowling alley is going to get warmer. So we have to see what goes on with the lanes when the weather it's wetter, but also a little bit warmer. It could create a little bit of a mess, but
Yes, sir. Also, more better and better players by the end of the week. Also, averagely more rev rate going down the lane, which speeds up transition quite a bit.
yeah, that's what Andrew was trying to explain yesterday. If a lot more good bowlers with high rep rate bowl together, the lane might dry up a little bit too quickly. So we'll have to see. We have to see.
Alright, how are the lanes looking? Ryan Barnes with a little bit of a rougher start. Did spare a 210 though, so yes, Linda, you are bringing him luck, it would seem. What else have we got right now? Gary Haynes starting with 3 in a row. We have Hakim Tun, 2 strikes, 9 spare, and another strike. Ethan Fury is struggling a little bit right now. Let's see how he fixes that.
But that's a little bit what we were mentioning before. Now it's game 3, so that means Ethan has already moved 8 lanes to the left in his case. How do you see what was going on 8 lanes away from you? Unless you have somebody on the back and you can go check whatever they are doing there, so have a better idea. You just have to feel it. And that is one of the reasons why I keep telling when people say, oh, golf is the most difficult sport out there. Yeah, but when I play golf, I see the bunker. I see the tree. I see the water. So you try to avoid those areas, but they are clearly for you to see. In bowling, we don't see those areas. We have to feel those areas, and that requires a, a special touch in a way.
Yes, sir. It's very hard on an invisible playing field. A game only counts 10 frames, and it's very hard if you have to use 1, 2, 3, even in worst cases 5 or 6 frames to find your line again if you're moving through the entire house.
We have some fans for Ryan also. Collie Falls over there. Let's go, Ryan. So, let's go back to business. We have lane 1 and 2. Sean Rush. Spare, strike. Kevin Mellin, who was doing pretty good as well with 50 over, started with strike spare double 9. It's a 6-pin, so it's going to be a spare. I'm not going to even watch. I am giving that for granted. And Nora Johansson on 13 and 14, double spare strike. And what is Ernesto at the moment?
She's next to Nora there. He's got
Exactly. I
a
knew I
spare
was.
strike,
I know
split
it
spare,
was
and
on
another
the.
strike.
So from the people who were standing on the top, we could say probably at the moment the one who's suffering a little bit would be Ethan, because he's bowling on 3 and 4, and yeah, he gets strike on the 5th frame, but he's currently 14 under the par on this game. Um, it's quite demanding. I mean, we have to admit it's very demanding. It's not one of those patterns that you can play blindfolded.
No, but that does keep competition interesting. I love it when the lanes are a little harder. Alright, I might perform a little bit less good, but still, I like interesting puzzles to solve, and this is one of those patterns that keeps it interesting. Same for Ryan Barnes right now on lane 8. He started with a strike and got a couple of spares now. Let's see what he does.
Is he gonna hold? Four pin was a little bit in. Yeah. But that is the moment. I mean, that we could say is the moment of truth. When you see Ryan, for example, now is suffering a little bit, struggling a little bit to do that final adjustment to go back to striking. It's very important that he doesn't get, what would be the word? Not too tense, not too anxious. Just take it easy, keep sparing, keep moving a little bit until you really find it over there. And see what happened on lane 3 and 4.
Yes, sir.
He
Pick
picked
two out.
the 6 and the 9. So strike 9 spare, double the 6 and the 9. So that's a double with 2. And then on the spare shot, it only took 4. So that is a very expensive frame. That is one of the most expensive frames I have seen in a long time.
Looks like Gary Haynes is playing catch up. 4 in a row, 9 spare.
And he's on the way up. He began with 187, then 200. So on the way up, and that is always the way you want it. Every game a little bit more than you did on the previous one.
Yes, sir. Dan Harding on lane 10 with a strike. That makes 4 spare and 4 in a row.
Dan is a very, very solid bowler as well. He does it very good. He has a very clear idea about the game. It's not that often when you see young bowlers that understand everything around the game, everything that is involved in it. So I would expect him to do pretty well during the week.
Absolutely.
And definitely the guy who really wants to win his second PBA title is going to be Hakim. I mean, he's already the leader of the event with 175 over. He's got 67 over after 2, and now he's got a double spare and a turkey. And it's not only he's a good bowler, but you can see it on his eyes and his body language, the way he turns around. It's like he's very secure on what he's doing. He has a very clear idea what he wants to do. He follows, he sticks into his strategy. He changes quickly when he has to do it. And it's lovely to see that the best bowlers in the world are no longer just the Americans. It's
Yes, sir.
becoming global, and it's beautiful to see that, because then the better bowlers we have in more countries, the more the knowledge is going to spread, and that could be a way for our sport to become bigger again.
Absolutely. I love coming here every year. It's outside of the pros playing this entire week. Just the Swedish youth itself is also interesting to see. As I'm from Belgium, the bowling is not doing too well back home right now, but it's inspiring to see how it's going here in Sweden, for example.
Mm. Yeah, that was one of my dreams, that they would have listened to me in Spain 30 years ago, and we would be one of the big teams at the moment now. But I've given up on that idea. It's not that I'm keeping my knowledge to myself. Everyone who asks, I'm going to help, and I'm going to try to develop their game as much as I can. But unfortunately, it's not in the hands of the bowlers anymore. It
No,
has to be the institutions.
absolutely.
They need to do something. They need to create, maybe invest a little bit on training facilities somewhere. It's even hard to get lanes to bowl on nowadays. People is only thinking about, not the people, but the bowling alleys are only thinking about birthday parties, disco bowling, so they can charge 10 euros for one game. And every year is a little bit less room for the sport and the competition.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
We have Jamie or I don't see. It's a little bit small. Does it say Jamie or Jarny?
Yarny. Who is
Jarny, who is the guest at the moment?
Well,
Go ahead.
it's
Go ahead.
It's me, Kilian Jansson from Belgium. I'm excited to be here next to Louis. Um, it's been fun watching the stream over here. Uh, let's see what's going on. We got on lane 1.
Yeah,
Pretty
one
good
one
game.
and two is on fire at the moment. 1 and 2 they are striking like a lot. We have Pontus Falkfall. Pontus just shot a very low game. He shot 149, but he's really determined to fix that. Strike spare and 6 in a row. No, seven, six in a row. So he's working on a potentially a 280 game. That would make him very happy. That would make him forget the 140 game like instantly. But the partners on the lane, they are also striking a lot. We have a couple of doubles for Kevin Melin. We have a full bagger for Sean Reich. And we have a triple for, what it says there? Pitsakos. That is a hard one to pronounce.
Let's see. Hakim is still doing very well. This squad's he's on a 250 pace at the moment, and then on lane 7 and 8 we have Ryan Barnes. Struggled a little bit in the first half, seems to have found something right now. Let's see where that goes. We have Gary Haynes on lane 9 and 10, getting a pretty good game going here. What else do we have? Let's see.
I'm actually watching at Ryan at the moment, see if he can get the triple.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
that looked very good actually. Yeah, I see a little bit less firm in the hand. It was a little bit more of letting the ball cross the lane, and that looked really, really good indeed.
Yes, sir.
And that is, as I said, that is one of the things I like on these talented kids, that they can do a lot of things with the bowling ball. It's not only power and speed, but when you can see they can do something else, then is when I go like heads off.
Absolutely. Yep, I'm sure we'll see him win quite a lot on the tour.
Okay, AJ Johnson, lane 19 and 20, not so happy. He's got a spur, 7 and 1, another spur. Now he made a triple, but this the third strike, it was 10 pins staying there a little bit longer, and his body language was a little bit like, it was not exactly what I wanted to do, or not exactly what I was expecting. But again, it's the first squad for AJ. They just arrived. I think Ethan Fury was the same thing. He just landed like
Yup, correct.
couple of hours ago, non-sleep on the plane. So
Mm-hmm.
not only the jet lag, but the energy is going to be below the fit.
Yup.
And
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit right now.
and
Just got a shot too far outside, never made it back.
but that's what I mean. We cannot be sitting down here on a comfortable chair and talk bad about them. Oh, they look at the professional. He's bowling 170. Yeah, but he has not sleeping. He's the first squad. It's
Oh
on a
yeah.
complete different hours of what he's used to. Probably has been hard to eat because when you don't sleep at all, you're not that hungry. So that also is going to cause a little bit of lower energy. You get quite dehydrated when you're traveling on an airplane
Oh
and
yeah.
for so many hours. So
Yup, and there seems to be a trend in players playing their first squad and having and struggling a little bit. And then their second or even third squads, scores are going up by quite a bit. Ryan Barnes is a premium example of this.
for being game number 3, the score has remained quite high. The previous streamings I've been doing on game 3, it was when most of the field was starting to struggle and get themselves into some issues. This time it looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit higher scoring pace than we have seen so far. Uh, I'm gonna ask everybody who's watching. Do you guys think are we gonna see our first 1400 on the week already? I'm gonna go for a yes.
Yes, sir, I would agree. I think there is a high chance of this happening. Ryan Barnes spares, ends up with 223.
So that's put him already on 94 over. 694 for Ryan. So he just have to go another 3 games like that, and then he can relax for the rest of the week.
Yup.
Hakim he just had the split he couldn't spare. But if he triples on the 10th frame, he's also gonna go all the way up to 693. So they are both gonna remain pretty close to the top. And then we have Ernesto on 13 and 14. He was already standing with 70 over. He has not doubled yet, but he has keeping his game clean. So if he doubles, he has a strike on the ninth. If he manages to strike on the 10th, he could go up to 216 and put his score all the way up to 86 over. And then we have Nora. Nora, she's doing very good on this game again. She had a couple of unlucky. I shouldn't say unlucky because it's always a reason when you leave a single pin. It's always something missing on the angle or a little bit too strong, a little bit too weak. That's one of the things that we keep trying to help the amateurs understand. When you go back home saying, today I was so unlucky, I hit the pocket all night long, but I couldn't strike, it's not that you were unlucky, it's that you had the wrong ball in the hand. When you get the right ball in your hand, you're going to get the right angle, and then you're going to get a lot of carry. And that explains also why sometimes you go back home saying, I wasn't that accurate, but every time I hit the pocket, I was striking every single time. Okay, that day you had the right ball in your hand.
Yes, sir.
Nora just missed the 10 pin. It looked like she was a little bit upset that she got it over there, so she's going to make 205, and that's going to put her on 606. At least she's still over par. And due to her power and rev rate, she doesn't really have any issue to move deeper, as some other girls could have a little bit of trouble to generate enough angle from that deeper lines.
Absolutely. She's been doing pretty good on the PWBA tour this year as well. It's lovely to see her here.
Well, she's a local. She lives here. She bowls in this bowling alley. So we should we should expect her to do quite good.
Talking about the luck part from a little bit ago, it's as Martin Larsen says, they call him Lucky Larsen, but luck you create by having the right ball, the right motion in the right part of the lane.
Absolutely. Where is Martin, by the way? He was
He
somewhere in
is
there.
at lane 11 and 12.
11 and
A
12.
little bit of a rough game.
Oh yeah,
Started with a strike.
three
Couple.
splits over there. Yeah.
Yep, opens. Now strike spare again.
And it's a strikeout for a 184, so it doesn't drop down too many pins. It's quite demanding. It's quite demanding. And as I said on the previous days, sometimes it's not only about how good you do it, but you also need to be a little bit lucky on who you follow.
Absolutely.
If you follow somebody who is kind of ripping off the lines on the lane, well, you better start taking a coffee and sign up for the next squad. All right, 1 and 2 was high scoring. We have Pontus. At the end, it was a 235, so he almost made it back to par, 597. But Kevin Mellin, the Swedish local, 689. What about that? He's getting stronger and stronger. 193, 258, and now 238. So he's probably going to be on the lead. No, sorry, he's going to be right behind Ryan because Ryan is 94 over. And then it's going to be Kevin. And then it's going to be Hakim with 82 over. And Sean Rice was doing okay. Where did he go?
Lane 1 and 2, he shot a 221 for
221.
58.
So 58 over. Then we have Ernesto with a 196. He went a little bit down to 666. That's the devil number. I don't think he's a devil. He looks pretty kind.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Made an interview, short interview the other day, but he gave me very good vibes. Very humble, and that's something also I like to see. When you see young, talented bowlers, that they are humble already. That they understood they don't have to go with the nose too high on the sky. I love to see that.
Yes, sir. And even for the pros, it's amazing as a normal amateur bowler to be able to talk to those people, to talk to your idols, and not have them stuck up their nose to you. Which most of the pros are all awesome guys. All of the ones I've met, I love them all.
It's one of the best things in our sport. Not everybody is open, obviously. That's human life.
Yes, sir.
and that's the society we live on. But one of the good things we have in bowling is that even the biggest of the names, they are very humble. They are very easy to talk to, very open. You meet them over and over again in many different places, and even after a couple or 3 years you haven't met them, they come to you and they hug you like you're part of the family, and that makes it special, and that makes it very. I think it's one of the best things to connect with the amateur bowler as well. If
Absolutely.
if they become inaccessible, then you don't really want to follow them. You don't really want to check on what they do. You may even lose an idol if it's like not acting the right way. If they do it the way they are doing it nowadays, it's the contrary. You
Uh,
go back home and you tell all your partners, I was spending time with this one and that one, and they gave me a shirt and they gave me some tips for free, etc., etc. And again, if we want to make the sport bigger and bigger, there's nothing else that we can do than really being open to everybody.
absolutely. It's the only way to grow the sport. It's uh, it's amazing to see. I had a story from back in the day. I almost quit bowling, and there was one specific pro who did something for me, and it kept me going, and it brought me to where I am today. I gotta thank Osku Palermo for that.
Oscar's a very nice guy. We made a camp together a couple of weeks ago in the north of Sweden. We had a lot of fun. And okay, we have here Tom W says Nora was unlucky. Two sevens. Yeah, but again, even a seven pin, even if it's a solid seven, even the solid eight, it has an explanation. Of course, it's unlucky because then you see somebody else making a Brooklyn or getting a strike with a very light shot or whatever. But bowling is not when you hit the pocket. When you hit the pocket and you don't strike,
There,
unless the pins were standing in the wrong position, it always has to do with the angle. And you can say it, you can call it unlucky, but on the other hand, it's yeah, maybe that ball is a little bit too strong. Maybe the ball is a little bit too aggressive.
there's always some kind of explanation for it. If we look at the pros, even on tour, all the messengers going down the lane, this is created by them having the right ball motion at the right time.
Of course, I'm gonna admit if that happens to me, I make five perfect shots, understand me, and I get a couple of solid sevens, I'm gonna be the first one saying, "Oh, I was so unlucky."
Same here, same here.
But then when I'm cool and I'm out of the lanes, I'm gonna tell myself, maybe I had the wrong ball in my hand.
Absolutely.
Most probably, I had the wrong ball in my hand.
All right, game three is finishing up here. We have lane 11 and 12 finishing up their 10th frame. Same for 19 and 20. I remember Gary Haynes shooting a 256 to get a little bit further above the par.
A very surprising game we had on lane 15 and 16. Christian Azcona, Puerto Rico. He shot 139, but it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 splits on that game. That is very hard to survive when you get 5 splits.
Yep.
And he's not going to be happy. He was sitting down at 48 over. Now he's sitting down 13 under. That's going to force him to do a lot, like a 750 on the next three, and that is not going to be an easy thing to achieve. So, one more minute, so everybody has switched lanes, and we can refresh the scoring and give you a true update on how things are standing. In the meantime, I'm going to remind you if someone else is just joining us, we kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel. It's 100% free. And if you do that, you're going to be helping us to get a little bit of help from YouTube and the advertisements so we can keep the channel absolutely free, and then you can keep on watching this kind of high level competition without having to pay anything. So if you have some friends who like bowling as well and they like to see the professional bowlers online, just send them the link and tell them to subscribe as well and follow us and watch us. And again, feel free to say whatever you guys want. Feel free to criticize. Feel free to ask. We are here for all of you. Now, scoring. Lanes 3 and 4. We have Ryan Barnes with 94 over. Then Hakim has gone. Where did Hakim
He's at
has gone?
19 and 20
19
right
and
now.
20 with 82 over. Uh, Kevin Mellin, it's on 5 and 6 with 89 over. Sean Reich is bowling with him, 58 over. On the same pair is bowling now Gary Haynes with 44 over. On who else is doing good? We have Dan Hardin, 57 over on 13 and 14. Then we have, yeah, not that many people left on high scoring at the moment. We went from 16 people being above par to having only 10 people above par. So remember what I was saying after when we
Absolutely.
were getting close to the end of game 2? I want to see what happens on game 3 and 4. Game 3 has already been a little bit critical for some of them. I can see games on. I'm only gonna talk about top 25, but I see 180, 190, 181, 177, 170, 145, 139, 167, and those are 18, 17, 16. 170, 145, 139, 167, 156 for Jesper Agebo from Denmark as well, and that's an old school guy. It doesn't really make things very complex or complicated. So yeah, definitely when transition shows up and the traffic hits you, it hits you badly. It feels like it's driving 9 o'clock in the morning in Barcelona. It's impossible to get anywhere.
Yep, I know that feeling back home.
But game 4, it's going to be pretty interesting. Now we're going to do a little game as we did yesterday. We're going to ask you to make your bets. What do you think is going to be the higher score on fifth and sixth game? Is anyone gonna go crazy? We remind you that games 5 and 6, they are the turbo games. If you don't have enough scoring to make it into the final, but you have a very high fifth or sixth game and you made the turbo, that's gonna give you a pass into the final. We have a couple of spots for the girls as well,
Correct.
couple of spots for the seniors, and a few spots on the early birds. So it's a lot of bowling still to come.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of good bowlers on the next few squats going down the week as well.
So early birds is going to be the athletes position 1 to 4th in a separate standing from squad 1 to 10 who have not qualified on any position on the first. Then we have 3 girls, not 2. Looks like it's going to be 3 girls going into the 3 or 4. No, that's the early bird. No, that's not the lady. Sorry. Then we have 2 spots for the seniors, 2 spots for the under 21, and 2 spots for the female. And then we have, as we were talking now, turbo on game 5 and turbo on game 6. Currently is 267 on both of them, but I probably it's gonna get a little bit higher on the turbos as well.
Yeah, I expect to see some 280, maybe even 290 games on those by the end of the week. Looks like yet again consistency is key. We have Ryan Barnes sitting on top of the field for this squad with a 235, 236, and a 223.
We have Kyle Clemens saying that Ryan Barnes will throw 300 on game 6. Linda is going to be very happy if that happens, that's for sure. We would be delighted. Then we have Tom W says game 5, his bet is 257. Game 6, his bet is 256. And I'm going to bet on 268. Let's see. You want to
I'm
do
I'm gonna set it at 279.
279? We're talking about this squad only, yeah?
Yeah, I don't. I believe Ryan Barnes might be able to force something there. He's doing really well.
He's looking very solid today, I must say.
I saw Ryan Barnes doing something interesting in the warm-up game as well. For the first 5 or 6 or 7 shots. He was throwing a spare ball down the middle for the warm up, creating a little bit of hold over there on his own lanes
It's
where he will
very
end.
funny he did that because yesterday when we were talking with Francois, I said exactly that. I was talking with him. We were trying to analyze a little bit the pattern and realize what goes on. And that was one of the things I said. If I were to bowl on this event, instead of trying to create some area on the right side with a dull ball, since the lane are really burning up quickly, I would do the opposite. I would grab my spare ball, stay on the left, not 3, 4, 5 boards from where I plan to bowl on game one, but probably 10, 12 boards, even 15 boards left, because when I go back there, it's going to be 5 games later, so the transition is going to be gigantic. And I would try to push the oil down, so at least when I get into that pair, I would get a little bit of hold inside my area. And the fact that Ryan did that not only shows how much he understands the game, but we couldn't expect anything else being son of Chris and Linda. But it also proves it's many different ways to attack the lane. You can change the strategy, and you need to do things that are going to be beneficial for you during that game and at the end,
Yes,
especially
sir.
in this event. You're going back to that pair where you started, so whatever you do with that pair, you're going to end up paying out by the end of the day,
Yes, sir.
for
We
good or for bad.
we have Joachim betting game 5 to 78, game 6 to 67. Let's see what happens.
Nice, 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 nice. But I see we are all quite positive and hoping that the scores are going to get higher and higher. Now my chicken brain is telling me no. This time the fifth and sixth is going to be just 230, 230.
Linda Barnes is still watching.
Has she given us any prediction? Linda, do you dare to make any prediction on what's going to happen on game 5 and 6? She's going to go for a 300 on Ryan as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Looking at Ryan right now, he's got the first turkey.
We have also Paul Connell commenting that Nora Johansson is impressive. Indeed, she is. But there are many impressive bowlers up here in Scandinavia, and the talent there. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they eat. I don't know what they have for breakfast, but they seem to have talent year after year after year. Maybe I'll have to find some Swedish guy, ask him later on. What the hell do you eat in the mornings?
I bet they have pins for breakfast and lane oil for dessert.
I probably use the lane oil on the salad.
Oh yeah.
Linda, wow, 1426. That's high. That would be the first 1400 on the week, and it would be very nice actually. Okay, AJ and Ryan are sharing pair. They're both striking quite okay on 3 and 4. 1 and 2 was easy until people arrive now. They are not striking as much as we've seen on the previous game. Oh, very nice pair over there for Nathan. That was a nice one. He had the 3, 10, 4, 7. That's not an easy one.
Yes, sir. Linda also says, or even higher than that. Looking at the leader of today, Ryan Barnes, with his 694, that means he still has to throw a 732 over the next three. Possible, but he'll have to hit in the game.
Not only possible, but more than doable. He seems to be very comfortable at the moment, and I remember from my good days when you get that kind of automatic feeling
Oh yeah.
that you stop thinking, and then the board you're looking at, it goes bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just stop thinking. You just do it and do it and do it. I remember back in the day. Now Linda's gonna laugh. I remember back in the day when I was on fire, I used to turn around and say, "Who's Walter Ray?" Okay, let's try to find Ernesto, because Ernesto was doing quite good as well. He's bowling on 17 and 18, strike, split, spare, spare, split. So not a good beginning.
That seems to be the pace he's been on for the last few squads he played. Very strong start. He'll still have to figure out the back half of the block.
Mm. He, the difference that I see on Ernesto and Ryan to compare two young, talented two-handed bowlers is that Ryan is very successful today at letting the ball do the job. He's doing a lot less gripping that we usually see on him, and Ernesto is still gripping it a little bit more. So I guess the middle lane, as soon as the transition is hitting, it's becoming a little bit harder for him to control. I'm talking about Ernesto now, while Ryan is managing to just let the ball go forward.
Yes,
He's not
sir.
not really reading that early on the middle of the lane, so he doesn't need to over push it. Now let's watch Ernesto on lane 19. He's already standing in front of the ball return. He's kind of lifting it a little bit, and it was out of the target, nearly not hitting the head pin on the left side. And the body language is already a little bit like he's not enjoying that pair.
No.
On the other hand, also on his pair by his right side, 19 and 20, we have Hakim. He starts with the strike, split, 9 miss, spare, spare. So he's not also doing that good on that pair. But Hakim is super strong. As soon as he finds something that's going to work, he's going to probably strike out and at least save that game.
In the chat, Tokyo Janitor, yes, sir, this is live.
Is this live? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely live. We are currently, well, if he says Tokyo, it probably is on Japan. It's a few more hours than it is here, sometime in the midnight, even later. But have a cup of coffee and join us for a little longer. This is live. This is from Sweden, Helsingborg, Olympia Bowling Alley, PBA event, the only PBA event out of the United States at the moment. The Storm Lucky Larsen 2025.
Let's see if Ryan goes for number 5 on lane 4.
Oh, a little dip.
Looks good.
Good. He had the health. He had the health. He's shaking his head, so I think I saw it pretty good that he missed a little bit in. But that's good news. When that happens, you just have to say, I'm checking the room. Just
Oh, yeah.
making sure it's still there.
Looking up the boundaries.
Okay. I see some strikes going on 13 and 14 again. We have Mike Stumpy with spare spare triple. Dan Harding missed a single pin 9-9, but then a double. Is working on. We have Joey with strike spare spare triple and Jesper open frame strike spare double. So that pair seems to. They have found what to do with it.
Yes, sir. 17-18. Pontus is doing pretty well. Strike, spare. 4 in a row and another spare.
What we really see happening now is that people who is scoring, they are scoring quite high.
Yes, sir.
But those who have lost a little bit the touch, they drop down like a lot. And that is another proof that this pattern is quite demanding. It requires a lot of focus and concentration. If you give up a little bit, even if it's just for a couple of frames, a couple of minutes, you can pay such a high price.
Yes, sir. Look at Hakim Toon on lane 19-20. Couple of opens. Now back to striking.
As I said, if he finds something, he's gonna strike out. This guy is super strong. Now the one we haven't spoken for a while is Ethan Fury, bowling on 7 and 8. Started with 4 spares and a double. He's sharing pair with Martin. Martin is not finding his game today. There's a couple of open frames there. Only 1 strike after 6 frames. Let's see where he's staying. He's quite deep in the lane already, around 23, 24 on the arrows. I wonder if he's still using that IQ. It looked a little bit more polished ball now.
Yes, sir.
But it's hard to tell on a screen which ball is he using.
Ryan Barnes didn't continue star striking. 9 spare. Let's see what happens.
Sometimes it's good to take a little break. Take a spare, relax, start again. I missed a little bit out, so that ball read a little bit sooner and left the 10 pin. I guess it's normal. Previous shot he missed a little bit in.
Yes, sir.
So the next one, your brain, not even yourself, the inner brain wants to take control and change a little bit whatever you have done. And 17 and 18, it's really crossing on Ernesto's brain. He has already 3 open frames and he just left the 4-6-7. So unless he has a very big bounce on the pins, that's gonna mean that's gonna be 4 open frames out of 8. Potentially 160 if he strikes out. So he's gonna drop down from 66 over to somewhere in 20 over if he strikes out. We will have to see what goes on. Yeah, he's very upset at the moment. You can see in his body language. He's not very pleased with that pair.
Yes, sir. We also have somebody in the chat asking about his friend Sophocles. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. A little bit hard. He's on 17 and 18 as well. Having a little harder of a game right now.
Sophocles, I would say. Yeah? Please tell, let's go Sophocles for my friend. Who is your friend playing? Is he? That's his name, Sophocles. I remember. I
it's
think
17
I've
and
seen it.
18 right now.
7. No, that's the pair that is being very complex for Ernesto. And yeah, Sophocles is suffering a little bit as well. He's got spare strike, open frame, spare miss, strike 6-0. But yeah, probably. Do you know if he has just arrived today? Maybe. So could be if you. I usually bowled really bad the day that I traveled.
Oh yeah,
I hated to bowl the day that I traveled. I always perform like terribly bad.
absolutely same here. I used to want to bowl as fast as possible, arriving to these kind of
Mm.
events, but I kind of learned to not do that anymore. When I arrived, I took a good night's sleep first before bowling.
We have a very funny comment in here by Anders Lundball. Says maybe Getty Haynes should give his wife a kiss. Well, we're gonna give our best regards to Dino Castillo from here. Dino, hope everything is fine with you. And what else? I've seen somewhere here some comment. Uh, Tom W says, Killian, sorry you're out. And Tokyo janitor has been asking on different places. Is this live? It's live on every single channel you open up. It's just different cameras on different pairs, so you don't miss any of the action. But yes, we are live on every single camera.
Looks like the scores are going down quite a bit here in game 4.
As I said, game 3, game 4, very complex. You need to be awake. You need to be consistent. We have a veteran who's holding up pretty well. Sean Rush, 230, 207, 221. Now he's bowling on 5 and 6. He's got spare, 5 in a row. Now I hope I don't jinx him. Otherwise, later on he's going to be upset with me. And back to Ryan on lane 3 after 5 bagger and a couple of spares. Missed a bit in, I think. No, maybe he moved in. Yeah, maybe he moved in. Now I'm not sure.
He wasn't too happy with the shot.
It looked like
My
it
guess would be
went.
that he missed in a little bit.
It went a little bit straighter, a little bit tighter angle, but I'm not sure did he add move because the previous shot it was not good on that lane, the reaction. Maybe he missed a little bit and found I don't know. Well, maybe if he leads the squad and I have the chance to interview him at the end, I'm gonna try to remember and ask him about that. I don't think he's gonna remember after so many shots, 60 frames, and you asking him about the 8th frame on the 4th game. He's gonna go like, I don't even know where I was bowling.
We have somebody in the chat, X-Ray, asking about Matisse Blanchette, who is on lane 20 right now.
Matisse, let's see. His partner is bowling with Hakim, who's gonna bowl 180 and drop down a little bit as well. He's gonna go to 60 over. And then as soon as I see Matisse making his shot, I'll let you know what I think. I see he's from Canada. He was bowling. He hasn't had any low game. He shot 182, 182, 190. But this one looks like it's going to be the first game. He's going to go above 200. And I don't know. It's so many bowlers. I don't really know them all. Some of them is the first time I see them. Oh, very good shot for Ryan now on lane 4 to get the strike on the ninth and give himself a chance to strike out for a 268. That would put him on 160 over. And
Same
get him
goes
a,
for Sean Rash, 268 pace.
but that would put him closer into the scoring pace where Linda predicted 1426. Well, she knows more than we do, so
Oh yeah.
we should listen to her. Usually women know more than any of the men do, but yeah. Oh, we have Tokyo Janito says, I only asked one time on the Ryan Barnes chat. You guys are awesome. Commentators through. Really enjoying. Well, thank you very much, buddy. Maybe you just said it once, but for some reason it came out here on a couple of different windows. Now I understand. No, no, my fault, my fault. When you comment on any of the windows, we have a spot down in the right corner of the screen we have on the table in which all the chats come together. I just realized, man, you found out in
Yup.
1 hour here. I've been sitting down on this chair for 3 days already, 4 days, and I just realized about that. You see, I told you I should clean my glasses.
Alright, X-Ray, we just saw Matisse throw a beautiful shot, good form, and another strike to start off the 10th frame.
Well, you said we saw, and actually you saw. I was having fun on myself because I just realized about the chat and I didn't see. I'm very sorry. I'm gonna make sure I'm watching now.
Here we go.
Let's see.
Yeah. Always right in front of Finland.
That's pretty elegant, I must say. A
Another
lot of
good shot.
power, yeah, a lot of power, but he has that elegant touch of the old school as well. Very
Yes, sir.
nice balance, good gripping, but not exaggerating. So yeah, it looks pretty good, pretty solid. I have to be honest, I didn't know him from before, and but he looks pretty good.
Alright, what's happening? Lane 1 and 2 finished off with some lower games. High game on the pairs at 200. We are looking at lane 3 and 4 in their 10th frame as well.
Yeah, we are really waiting to see what goes on with Ryan and Sean, who are probably going to be the potential top 2 bowlers after this game on the squad. And then we'll be entering the last 2 games, 5 and 6, where transition is completely on the top of us, and every decision is going to be crucial.
Yes, sir. Kevin Mellon on lane 5 and 6 ended with a 210 for a 99 over.
What I don't believe is that I still see so many people using such strong cover balls with quite strong cores as well. I mean, the lanes are burning out pretty quickly, and that's the last thing you need. You don't need balls that hook so early, otherwise they're going to force you to do too much.
Yes, sir. And it's a very high friction place here. Ryan wasn't happy, but it strikes.
Very nice shot for Ryan. And now after seeing this one, I'm pretty sure he did not miss left on the previous one. He had adjusted his feet and he moved a little bit deeper. It worked well, but he was shaking his head because it was like, maybe I should have done it a little bit sooner.
Yes, sir.
Now let's see. Sean also got the strike on the 10th, so it looks like he could go also on a 268. and that should put them. Martin, since you're passing by, what ball are you using now? It's impossible to see on the screen.
I don't want to make any commercials of the balls I threw the gremlin quite a bit then.
Oh, Gremlin it was. That's why I couldn't. Thank you, buddy. So I said it was kind of dark. I was wondering was the
Yep.
IQ tour that they got shiny or something, but no, it was the Gremlin then. But that makes sense. That's what we were saying. We don't want to have balls with super strong covers, super strong cores. On the contrary, you want something that's going to make your life easier, not harder.
Yes, sir. Or even strong core would just be fine in game 3 and 4, but a weaker cover like the Origin EX, for example.
Ryan's going to strike out for 268. Is all the way up to 960. There you go, 267, 961 for him. Great job. Linda, now if you have to go to the toilet or make a coffee, do it quickly before he starts on the next game because you're surely bringing a lot of good vibes to the sun. And we want to keep it that way. We really want to see that first 1400.
Sean Rash goes 9 spare.
So it's going to be a 247. It's going to put him on 100 over. And Kevin Mellin, 99 over. Hakim has done a little bit lower. Now the score has gone away. So I'm going to have to give you an update in a couple of minutes, guys, when we can update the scoring, refresh the online scoring, and we'll find out.
Sean Rash finishes up with the super washout.
Fourth game over, a couple of games ago. Interesting how it's getting. Are we gonna get finally our first 1400? We have a very nice looking chance for Ryan. So hopefully. Sean Reich, 100 over. Kevin Mellin, 99 over. We already said Ryan is on 160 over. Ernesto dropped down with a terrible, uncomfy game on that previous pair. He was really not happy at all. He was bowling on 17-18, right, Ernesto?
Yes, correct.
This last game. So I'm gonna try to find out people who's bowling now on 17-18. We have Mike Stumpy and Don Harding. I want to pay some attention to what they can do on that pair. Is that pair already like completely devastated, or is there something else we can do over there? It was just Ernesto couldn't find what to do with that pair.
As far as I've seen, 17, 18, 19, and 20 are the harder pairs, as we said before.
It looks a little bit tighter, yes. Maybe we should have to blame it on the boogeyman.
It's always the lane guy. Always the lane guy.
I have to say, the lane guy over here is one of the greatest humble guys you can meet in the bowling industry. Super professional, super kind. And instead of going and blaming on him, if I had to give you an advice, I would go and ask him. Try to get some, not information on instructions, but try to learn on
Yes,
how
sir.
they see, how they develop things, and ask questions so you can get a better understanding on how to read the lane and how to prepare your strategy for the next time you bowl.
Yes, sir. And if I'm correct, he's giving a seminar on, I think, Saturday, about
Saturday.
lane patterns and how to build lane patterns. If any of the bowlers that are present in Helsingborg are listening, I would highly recommend, as this is a very interesting topic.
And I would be attending 100% for sure. That's the one I don't want to miss.
Oh yeah, I'll be there for sure as well.
Okay, we have more comments. We say LB, GOAT in the house. Yes, GOAT is in the house. All right, let's see. One more shot on lane 15 for Oscar Brostrom. And then game 4 will be finally over. And we will be able to start getting some news about the scoring after 4 games because you know the online scoring is not going to come up until everyone has finished their games.
We have a question from Kazi. Do you think Hakim is one of the favorites with the way he's been bowling right now? He's doing very well. I would say he's one of the favorites, but we'll see what happens going down further down the week. The weather will change. Maybe the pattern will play a little different. We don't know.
Not only that, but we have to remember that bowling is a very, very complex sport with so many factors intervening. I mean, it's not like tennis. When you play tennis, we have seen Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic for 20 years. They are the only ones dominating the sport. In bowling, even if you see the best years of Walter Ray, the best years of Jason Belmonte, or even now the best years of E.J. Tackett, they don't win every tournament.
Nope, true.
They actually win how many? Maybe 15% of the events, 10% of the events. I don't even know the numbers. Any idea how many could be the percentage? But they surely don't win one every 2 or one every 3 events.
There was a time, take me not for granted, but I think because Walter Ray is the most winningest player
Hmm.
in history,
Mhm.
I want to say like because he does all the statistics and he counts like all his tournaments, like even the local ones, and I want to say what was it, 12%?
12%, and we're talking Walter
Mhm.
Ray, who is the number one, and still far to go for someone to catch him in numbers of titles at the PBA. So what I'm saying, it doesn't really matter how strong and how good Hakim is looking at the moment. It's so many good bowlers coming onto this week, which is going to make it very hard to predict who's going to win. And also, there's another thing that happens very often in bowling. It has happened to me down in Spain a million times that you finish the tournament leading by far, because in average you were the absolute leader. You bowled maybe 300 pins more than the second one, but then it all comes to the step ladder final. One game.
Yes, sir.
For whatever the reason, that game, you only need to lose by 1 pin, and then it's game over.
Absolutely. All
So
right, we have some updated scores. Ryan Barnes still in the lead with 962. Then we have Sean Rash with 900. Kevin Mellon with 899. Hakim Toon with 60 over. Dan Harding from England with 44 over. Then next Gary Haynes 837. Then Jesper Agerbo with 823. Mick Stamper behind him with 813. Pontus Falkhall with 811. Ernesto is still above par with 809.
Ernesto is surviving on game one.
Yes,
After
sir.
that, he hasn't really found it. 92, 96, 43. So looks like he found a perfect strategy for game one, but now he has to find what to do as soon as transition starting to appear and show up.
Yes, sir. If I remember correctly, he starts off with a pretty big ball RST hyperdrive, which works fine game one, but it's not been very helpful after that. In 11th spot, we have Ethan Fury with 801, and then being exactly par, Matisse Blanchette with 800.
So we have 12 people at par at the moment. We had some higher games than I was expecting on game four, because we have 260, 240, 220, 220, 220, 214, 240. Except 170, 180, 190. That was the scores on the top 12 at the moment. And of course, Ernesto with the 140, it was the lowest on the top 12. But now yeah, now you need to put the steaks on the grill, because we're going into the last 2 games, and now everything you need to go all in. Now it's either you go all in or you go and sign for the next squad.
Yes, sir. Let's see what happens with Ryan, the leader of the squad. He's now challenging lane 19 and 20. Seems to be a hard pair. Let's see how he fears those out.
It's nice to see we have a lot of action going on on the chat. It's a lot of people talking. Dice Henrik, hola Luis, qué gusto saludarlo desde Costa Rica, ya extrañábamos sus transmisiones, ¿no? Pues un saludo fuerte, les mandamos todo el amor y el cariño y qué bien se debe estar en Costa Rica ahora mismo, ¿no? Con el frío que tenemos aquí arriba, que llevo todo el día la chaqueta y el gorro puesto. And for those who don't understand, I was saying hello back to the guys in Costa Rica, and I was telling them I wish I was there because I'm freezing my head all day long. I'm wearing a jacket up here. It's been a terrible hot summer in Barcelona and in Spain. So it's not that Sweden is frozen, it's not winter, but the contrast from those 40 degrees we were having during the days to come up here, and some of the days we have been. This morning was 6 degrees. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
6 degrees is what we get on a very bad cold winter day in Barcelona. So obviously I'm freezing a little bit. So that's the only thing. I was talking Spanish into them. I was letting them know I wish I was there, uh, especially in terms of heat. But then on the other hand, I'm really happy to be up here watching all those talented bowlers and see all the action. I wouldn't like to miss the action. I already missed it last year, and yeah, I wanted to be here 100% this year.
In the chat, we have Carrie Morgan watching from Southern California. Welcome, Carrie. Make sure if you want to follow the rest of the squads to subscribe to see a lot of awesome bowlers do a lot of awesome things.
Yeah, we remind you that on this Storm Lucky Larsen Masters YouTube channel, it's 100% for free. We're gonna do a lot of good bowling content. It's gonna be the whole event from day one until the very end. You can watch it for free. But then during the rest of the year, it's gonna be a lot of PBA regional from Sweden, and the people bowling in Sweden, they are super talented. So it's very fun to watch. They will be doing a lot of National League matches, which is as crazy as you can imagine. I could compare it to those Barcelona Madrid football matches because the atmosphere it becomes electric. They might be also a little bit of coaching and tips and sometimes maybe even some ball reviews. But what's most important is that we want to make sure that we keep the channel for free, so everybody from anywhere in the world has a perfect chance to see the best bowlers in action without having to pay any kind of subscriptions. And that's why, in order to be able to have that, we really ask you to subscribe into our channel and support by watching and keep doing what you're doing, which is comment and talk and be active with us. Kerry says, I'm a plus Thomas Carlson. Keeps me updated. He's a very good friend. Aha, you mean the chef in the bowling alley? You know, it's a lot of Carlsons in Sweden, so it could be a bowler as well.
We also have Kazi saying Ryan versus Hakim would be a interesting final. I would agree, might be possible. Who do you have out of those two to win? What would be your guess if they would play the finals? Let me know.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard to predict. On this pattern, I would expect the one-handed for sure to make it into the step ladder, at least one. Two-handers, they're gonna have to be very, very, very consistent and probably understand what they want to do and what they want to avoid doing. That's one of the things that we have seen on Ryan today compared to the first squad. It's a weaker wrist, I would say. It's a lot less a gripping motion. It's trying to let the ball do the job instead of forcing the ball to do the job, and that is it's going to be very necessary if the two-handers want to go higher on this event.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, with that big amount of reps, hard to control when it's not so much room, and especially the middle lane is quite aggressive after a couple of games. It's gonna make it very hard for them.
It helps out in the first few games, but once the lanes get burned up, it makes it just a tad bit harder.
All right, Martin Larsen is spare and 4 in a row after his quick visit up here in the booth. No, 5 in a row now. It just came out a little bit later. So spare and 5 in a row. We should ask him what did he came to pick up some aspirin? Did he came to pick up some tape? He's doing good, and we want him to do okay. I mean, Martin is such a kind person, and not only putting the name on the event, but he's doing so much stuff during the week. I mean, he's bowling,
Oh
but
yeah.
he's also taking care of so many people. A lot of job to do around the event, so it cannot be easy to focus once he gets into the lanes. There's a lot of people coming and asking things, and where can we do this? Why should we drop that? Where hotel and food
Oh
and
yeah.
blah 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 blah.
He's doing so much this week, and overall he does so much for the sport. He's such an awesome guy.
All right.
Oh, Kerry answered.
Yes, in the bowling alley. He's a bowler also. Cool, cool. I lately I only see Thomas playing golf, but but it's good that he keeps you updated. Actually, if you have his phone number, you can send him an SMS or a WhatsApp and tell him Luis in the stream. He's starting to be hungry, but he's a little bit busy with the microphone on the hand, so he cannot run into the kitchen. But he's really getting hungry, and he wants some food before everybody stops bowling, and you get super busy.
Also, Linda Barnes in the chat is very okay with 1426 being too low of a guess. I bet you are.
Yeah, I would take a 14-26 right away.
Oh yeah.
The way it's looking, it would not only make it to the final, but make it directly to the step 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I bet 1400, even maybe even lower, would be enough to make step 2.
Kyle Clement says Ethan Fury plus 100 the last 2. He really needs a little bit more than that. Perhaps he needs 120 over on the last 2 if he wants to secure a spot on the final. There's no more early birds from today. And Ethan is bowling now on. I've lost him. Where is Ethan? Over there. 13 and 14. Strike, split, strike, spare. No, sorry, 11 and 12. My fault. 11 and 12 is now bowling on lane 12, standing in front of the machine. Already lifting the ball a little bit, and that one went a little bit far outside. So it was the 210 was standing on the lane.
2-4-10.
But the thing is, we cannot really ask Ethan to perform as good as he's going to do tomorrow and the day after. He just arrived today after a very long trip. I mean, all the way from United States till here.
Absolutely.
Just to think about it, it gets me tired, and I haven't been traveling from that far.
All right, Luis. Looks like Carrie's taking care of you.
So you're texting Thomas. That's lovely. That's very, very good news. I'm starving already. I start to feel, since you said you're on it, my mouth started to become more waterish. I appreciate. See, how lovely is that? You
Oh,
are
that's
working
amazing.
and you get some help from people watching, and that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Let's put some attention on lane 9 and 10. Sean Rash started with a spare, and then 4 in a row. He's up on lane 9, if I'm correct. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, if he keeps striking like that, I'm pretty sure he's gonna end up taking a beer on the bar.
Probably.
I just saw another shot on lane 15 by Mathis Blanchette. He looks pretty good, actually. I like what I see.
Yes, sir. Ryan got another strike as well. That makes for a turkey on lane 19 and 20. And Sharash keeps on striking as well.
Where's Kevin? Kevin was bowling with... I lost him. He was sharing lane with someone else. Was it with Hakim?
Kevin is on 9 and 10.
No, Kevin was with Sean Rice.
Yes,
True.
sir.
He's got a couple of doubles because Kevin is also up there. He's 99 over. So if he managed to bowl like 430, 420, 430, I would say 440, that could give him already a pass into the final. We don't know yet what the cut's gonna be. My early week prediction was about 150 over. Uh, it would be a little bit coward to back up now and say something different, so I'm gonna remain on that 150 over. Maybe I'm just gonna go out there and start talking to all the bowlers. Go for a higher RG bowl so you can make that cut look better and don't make me look that bad. The one thing I can say I can see for sure, and it's happening both to the one-handeds and the two-handeds, as soon as the lane starts to burn and they move a little bit deep and they try to succeed by increasing the speed and flying the ball deeper on the lane, I haven't seen anyone really accomplishing that. It's not working for any of them. On the contrary, what's really working is to let the ball skid on the lane. Add a little bit more of a spin into the ball and make it slide through the lane. Don't try to make it fly all the way down, because then when you bounce the ball on 25 feet, the oil is gone. It's only brushing there, and sometimes even when you try to send it a little bit farther, you end up stopping the ball. The ball loses a little bit of speed, and you end up gripping it more instead of gripping it less. So the ball's gonna hook even earlier. On the contrary, what you want is a very clear, clean, weak cover stock, weaker core, so the ball can retain more energy and doesn't want to start hooking so early. And
Ooh, good break for Ryan Barnes
yeah, that
there.
was a nice tripping the two pin forward. Uh, but what I mean, if you manage to control your wrist and you can become a little bit weaker, try to give less reps to the ball instead of more reps to the ball. Try to be more around so the ball starts to hook a little bit later. It's all these kind of old school tricks that seem to work better instead of just trying to send the ball further into the lane. Of course, it looks very good. It's what's becoming fancy nowadays, but you don't want to look good. You want to make strikes.
Yes, sir, absolutely. We have Pierre Lemieux saying Matisse is a future star. Already has over 120 perfect games. Well, at least he definitely looks very good out on the lanes.
Yeah, it looks very, very good. 120 perfect games. It looks very good as well. But nowadays, a perfect game, it doesn't tell me that much. I remember the first time I flew up to Sweden, actually, the second time I flew up to Sweden, I was 16 years old. And I went to the bowling alley of Thomas Leandersson. And Thomas had just been the bowler of the year,
Yes,
the,
sir.
the world bowler of the years. And he was one of the best bowlers in the world by the 90s. For many, many years, he was one of the best bowlers in the world. And he had won 300 game. So what I mean is that bowling was completely, completely different 25 and 30 years ago.
Oh,
To
yeah.
make a 300 game, it was not as easy as it is today. Today, yeah, even blindfolded, there are some bowling alleys where you can make 300 like very often. And don't misunderstanding. I'm not saying he's not an amazing good bowler, because he looks super good. Yeah, as I said it from the beginning, not only he has the power, but the way I see him throwing the ball, it reminds me a little bit of old school. It's like a mix, a hybrid of the modern and older bowling.
Absolutely.
But I wouldn't measure the talent of a bowler by the number of 300 games they have.
I absolutely agree with that. Hey, look at that in the chat. Thomas Carlson answered. Carrie is really taking care of you, my friend.
Yes, you said that I'm only 7 hours away, Thomas says. Okay, some strikes for being game number 5. It's definitely a higher score pace than we have seen before, because even if you don't focus on one bowler in particular, but you see four bagger here, triple and double there, triple double double, 6 in a row, triple and a double, triple and a double, 4 in a row, 5 in a row to end, 240 game for Pontus. So definitely this squad is going to get higher scoring than we have seen before. It's paying out pretty well that some bowlers began with weaker material than they have been doing before, and they began to bowl a little bit further outside than they have done in the warm-up in the previous days. And then some bowlers did like, as you said before with Ryan, trying to make the lane a little longer on their inside. And we're going to have to see on scoring. Let's go. Lane 13 and 14, Pontus, 242 for 53 over after 5 games. Pontus is definitely not going to be happy of that very low game he had on game 2. He shot 213, then 149, 235, 214, 242. And that's why we keep telling, we hope that people can keep their low games as high as possible. If you can manage to make 180 instead of 140, those 40 pins now, he would put him already on 90 over. So with another game of 240, he would probably be on the cut already, or pretty close to be on the cut. More scores. We can see 46 over for Gary Haynes. He just finished his game of 209 in lane 1 and 2. Who else is over par? We have to go all the way to 15 and 16. Hakeem Toon, he managed to strike out to save the game and make 213 for 73 over. But 1 game to go, he already has 1375, I believe it was. So even if he makes 300, he's not going to overcome his own score. Ryan, he just had the open frame. He had a split on the 9th frame. So it's not going to be a very high game. But it felt like it looked pretty good on lane 19. So we could expect him to strike out and make it 214. And when you have a low game, if it's a 214 game, you take it. You sign right away. Matisse, another high game on 15 and 16, 221. And he started with 7 spare, 7-0. So the fact that he made a couple of turkeys and fixed that, he's looking better. He started really low, 180, 180, 190. But last 2 games is 246, 221. So he's probably just finding his way on how to bowl on this pattern. And what's Thomas saying? So I'm on it. Cold pizza for Luis. I hope it's not that cold. No onion today. No onion. That's the only thing I'm gonna ask for. Now Thomas is a great guy. He's really, really, really kind and an amazing chef. I think every single dish I have tried in this bowling alley is a good restaurant quality.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? We all gain a couple of kilos on this week in Sweden. Now, where is Nora? Nora, I've lost her.
Lane 5 and 6, 178 in game 5.
She's given up already.
She's 50 below par at the moment.
Yeah, it's not going to be the right squad for her either. But she's going to go on again for sure. And she's going to, at some point, find some way to succeed and score a lot higher. I've seen a bowl of 3 different squads already. In some squads she was okay at the beginning, some squads she was okay at the end, some squads she was okay in between. As soon as she manages to put them all together, she's going to be able to score a higher series. I wouldn't be surprised on her making 13, maybe 1300, 1290, 1280, 1300. It could be possible. Christian Azcona, Puerto Rico, 250 for 34 over. He has been going up and down all day long. Let me find him over there. I cannot find him now. Puerto Rico. There. 16, 208, 240, 139, 194, and 250 now. So again, another guy we said if the low game instead of 140 was a 180, he would be a lot happier than he's going to be at the moment. Sean Reich, if he strikes out, he's going to catch Ryan. They're both going to be on 160 over. Ryan is going to save that game on lane 19 and 20. He's going to get it to 100. And yeah, he can skip that pair already. Focus on the next game. He just needs to shoot 260. Then if he shoots to 60, Linda is going to have the exact score for Ryan. That would be cool.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan proves how important it is to make your spares. This makes his low game a 204, which is pretty good.
Yeah, Ethan is on a very low game. This one was a 151. He was kind of lifting the ball on the top of the left gutter, and he's gonna realize pretty soon that's not the way he wants to try to attack the lanes. As I said a few minutes ago, it's not. I haven't seen anyone succeeding on this approach so far. Those who are succeeding is doing the opposite. They are letting the ball slide through the lane and they spin the ball a little bit more. It's definitely not working to make the ball fly up to the moon. 4 pin for Sean Reich, so it's going to be a 258, unless I'm wrong. It's a little bit far. Yeah, 258 for 58 over. So Ryan's going to remain on top with 66 over. Sean's going to be second with 158 over. And then I think, where was Kevin? He was bowling with him. He shot 224, so he's 123 over. We have three potential players going into the final on this squad, unless something weird happens on the very last game. And yeah, it's looking good. It's looking interesting. It's definitely a little bit higher scoring pace on this squad that it has been on the previous one. Now we're gonna hit the sixth game where transition is not only here but becoming a friend of all of us. And let's see what happens on the last game. Okay, I haven't bowled in Helsingborg for quite some time. I've been traveling up here forever and ever. But the last two events I've been here, I see so many single pins misses that it makes me think maybe this bowling alley has become hard to take a spare. Single spin, yeah,
Oh yeah.
single pin splits. It looks like. Maybe I should talk to Bakke and say, why don't we do a special offer on the Pro Shop with 50% discount if you drill a new spare ball? I shouldn't be talking bad, but it's. I can understand that you may have issues finding the spot on the lane. I can understand you may have maybe trying different things and not really getting an answer for what you're looking for and get a little bit desperate. And from time to time to miss one single pin, I can understand. But when you miss like 4, 5, 6 single pins in one squad, that's way too much. And we are bowling on a competition. It's a potential PBA title, and we need spares. We need spares, especially when it's tough.
Yes, sir. We're looking at lane 1 and 2. Dan Harding, 2 misses. 8-1.
8-1,
8-1.
8-1. Yeah, I mean that is so expensive by the end of the day.
Oh yeah. Any and all of those spares could cost you a spot in the finals. 1 pin is enough.
I must say I'm very happy it's not many Spanish people talking into the chat because now they would remind me when I was very young and I get so upset. Some of them call me Hulk Hogan because I had to bring a couple of shirts to the events because the first one was always going to get ripped off. And when I got that angry, yes, I missed a few 10 pins, but sometimes I miss them. I'm not going to say on purpose, but I throw the ball as fucking hard as I could so I could get rid of that kind of anger and bad energy. And when I did that, obviously I missed pairs as well. But when I was playing with my brain on the right spot, I remember sometimes it took me 3 or 4 months before I missed a single pin.
Oh yeah.
And that's the way it should be. I mean, how big is a ball? Like 12 boards? How thick is a bowling ball? I don't know, but how thick is a ball? How thick is the pin? That means how many boards you have down there that you still gonna hit the pin?
You pretty much have 1/3 of the lane available to make the single pin.
That's what I mean. It's crazy. And for the young ones listening, two-handers, stop sparing with backup. Stop sparing by hooking. When the lanes are very easy, you're gonna spare because you have a lot of room. You miss in, the ball's gonna go longer. You miss out, the ball's gonna hook back. But when you ball on tougher conditions, as soon as you miss in any direction, you're never gonna spare. So learn to bowl straight. Learn to spare straight. That's the best tip I can give the young ones today.
Absolutely. On a house-like shot, it might be easy to throw that backup spare, but if you get onto a 1-to-1 ratio pattern, it becomes quite a bit tougher to do it that way. More certainty with a spare ball.
Now let's focus on a little bit. Give me a second. I'm gonna refresh the scoring. Hold this one for me a second.
No worries.
Here, and we can find out how we're doing. It hasn't come in yet. Oh, we'll have to wait another minute until we sell. But it's gonna be interesting to watch if the strategy that Ryan used on the warm-up to try to make the lane longer on the inside area of where he was planning to bowl is going to pay out now that he's back on that pair. For those who have joined us a little bit later on, we remind you that bowlers are moving 4 lanes to the right or to the left, depending if they are on an odd lane or not. And what that happens in this bowling alley with 20 lanes, it means that 6th game you're gonna bowl where you did your warm-up. So whatever you have done with your lane during the warm-up, you're gonna end up paying at the end of the day. So if you treated the lane properly, the lane's gonna be a little bit more gentle with you. If you made a mess of it, the lane's probably going to pay you back. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be interesting to see if that pays out well for Ryan. He was pretty smart on what he was doing on the warm-up. And if that pays out, he could be shooting a high game, and finally we will have somebody shooting 1400. The other bowler who has a chance to get closer to 1400 would be Sean Reich, who is now bowling on
13, 14.
13 and 14. Yes. So Kevin Mellin had a slight chance as well because he was pretty close, but he had an open frame on frame 2. It's still a long way to go. We shall see. Nora on lane 1 and 2, spare and 4 in a row. Even if that's not the squad where she's going to score the higher, we remind you that games 5 and 6 we have the turbo. So if she makes a 290, which is the potential score at the moment, she would probably grab that spot and go directly into the final through the turbo.
Ryan Barnes on lane 15 with a 4-9 split. Let's see if he makes it.
Little bit unlucky. The ball read a little bit more than he expected, but that is something you can not only spare but recover from. A small adjustment, he should be back on the strike spot. Sean Reich, we're seeing he's moved a little bit in as well on 13 and 14. It's nice to see this camera at the moment because we have the 2 guys, actually the 3 guys who have the highest score, which is Ryan Barnes, Sean Reich, and Kevin Mellin on this couple of pairs. Very unlucky spare shot now for Ryan. Hopefully it doesn't get any effect on his focus and he just keeps calm and gets the job done during the rest of the game. Scoring, I'm going to update you guys so you know what goes on. At the moment we have 13 bowlers over par, which is a little bit better than we have been having lately. And on those 13 bowlers, we only had Ernesto, who is probably still a little bit upset with 192, and Don Harding, who just shot 165. Every other single bowler has bowled above. 200. We had 214 on spot 13. And then from 10 and up, 10 is AJ Johnson, 225. Mattis is ninth, 221. Jesper Gerbo on 8th place, 203. Cristian Azcona, Puerto Rico, 7th place, 253. Gary Haynes, 6th place, 209. Pontus Falkhall, 242. Hakim Toon, 213. Kevin Mellin, 224. Sean Rush, 258. And Ryan Barnes, 204. Definitely the highest score so far this week. And now everything is going to be about what goes on these last 6, 7 frames of this game. It's pretty interesting. It's getting quite exciting to see. Lane 2, look at where Nora's standing. She's already right in front of the ball return. She's got all the power in the planet, so look at that.
That's where we see a lot with people lofting a little bit. Small miss to the right, and it never ever recovers.
Yeah, you just read my mind. I was gonna say that she's so talented that of course you can succeed one game.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you do a little bit of a different thing with your hand, with your grip, or with the ball placement in the lane, it's not gonna pay out. On the contrary, you need to find something that's gonna be more forgiving.
Yes, sir.
And that is what most of the young ones seem to have not find out yet. They are going way too aggressive. They are trying to do what they do when they ball with the urethane, and this is a complete different approach than when they ball with the urethane. They don't have to go and shoot it harder like they do when it dries out with the urethane ball. On the contrary, you just need to go even smoother, let the ball go longer, let the ball do the job for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. The way the pattern's been played so far, a lot of people moving inside very quickly, means by the last game, if you miss out, there's still quite a bit of oil out there. Ball skids too far, it gets a little touchy.
And on the other hand, if you keep moving left and left and left, you're gonna find the left side of the lane which has a little bit less oil than the middle part of the lane.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna make your life even harder.
If you keep moving left, you might just throw it on the wrong lane.
I was just about to ask on the chat, where is my pizza? Because now I'm really getting hungry.
His first try phrasing it to ship it.
Just kidding, just kidding. Not kidding that I'm hungry, but kidding on asking where the pizza is, obviously. One more time, I'm going to be annoying, I know, but I'm going to remind you, we are asking to everybody who's following and watching and listening to subscribe to our channel. It's 100% free. It's going to be a lot of content on not only during this week, where you can see every single game on every single lane until the very end of the event. That's including the final and the step ladder and prize ceremony. But also, it's going to be a lot of content the rest of the season, a lot of PBA regional, a lot of Swedish National League, which is electrifying and you really want to get to see it. So just click the button, subscribe, and we will be very thankful. We have Willem Notting. I've been bowling for 52 years now. Started with the 369 system, and I'm still using it. It makes all spares with I make all spares with my strike ball. I agree with you. The 369 is probably the easiest spare system there is, and if you understand that you don't really have to give any rev rate, just let the ball slide, go with the broken wrist and forward roll. The ball's not gonna move. The ball's gonna stay where you aiming. And yeah, I agree with you. It's a very good spare system and very easy to apply.
Yes, sir. Can I direct your attention to Martin on lane 19 and 20? Not the greatest game, but making all his spares.
Yep. And that says a lot about Martin, because after a long journey, when things are not being working the way you want them to work, it's easy to kind of give up and
Yes, sir.
don't give, we could say, a crap anymore. But that is also the other thing you want to learn from these guys. Not only how talented they are, but how polite.
Oh yeah.
So we have Kevin Mellin with an open frame, but now triple. So he's trying to fight his way into the final, and he has a very, very solid chance because he was already sitting with 123 over after 5 games. Then we have Ryan struggling a little bit on 15 and 16. Um, he had the previous shot, it was the 4-9. Now he had the 2-8, so maybe he adjusted a little bit too much. Maybe he lost a little bit of the touch. But he surely is taking his pairs and getting the job done. He doesn't really need to go crazy. I mean, it was just us in the chat and Linda hoping that he would go for the 14-20. But actually, if he makes 190, he's going to be in the final
Absolutely.
because he's going to be on 13.56, and I predicted the cut to be at 13.50, so he's going to be in the final. Sean Raj also is working with the double, and he already was 158 over, so he could be more than safe into the final as well if he carries on that way.
Ryan gets a good break on 16 there, first strike.
And now I think what's happening really is that we're going to see a competition of 5 frames between Kevin Mellin, Sean Raj, and Ryan Barnes to see who's going to be leading the squad and potentially being the new leader overall the competition. Let's see. He's really taking his time on the approach. He doesn't want to rush into it. And he got a powerful 4-bagger.
Outside of those guys leading the squad, I see a lot of people struggling these last 2 games right now.
As we were talking a little bit sooner, it's not easy to remain focused for so long, especially when the lane is not helping you at all. It requires a lot of energy. It requires a lot of a strong will for you to remain focused all the time and not to give up. And that's why we were saying just a few minutes ago, we admire Martin for fighting all the way until the very end. He shot 216 on lane 19 and 20, which is not the easiest on the alley. And it's not his best squad by far, but that shows how you want to teach
Sir.
the new generations. Keep fighting until the very end. Don't give up. Keep a smile on your face. Be humble and keep going.
Absolutely. Also, something I just saw happening on lane 13, Sean Rash. Something went wrong and he aborted mid-approach. Something which is a skill that a lot of people should learn as well. If something goes wrong, if you get distracted or anything, don't release that ball. Take it back with you, reset, and throw
Yes.
again.
Yeah, that is a very good tip as well. You don't want to waste any of your shots. So if something is happening right before you release the ball, just grab it strong, stop it, don't release it, go back, drop the ball on the ball return, take some air in your hand, and go back. That was a magnificent shot now by Ryan on lane 15. That really looked superb. That really
Very
went,
soft edge.
yeah, it really made the ball go long and not overdoing, not overcompensating. On the contrary, just using the speed on his legs, but not doing too much with his hand. And that was a very, very nice strike. The way he shot that one and that body language, we could expect quite a few more strikes from here to the end of the game. So 1400 still a possibility. And Kevin Mellin, he would need 260, no, 277. He cannot do that anymore. He can do 256, but still would make him go all the way to 1380. That would put him on second position if Ryan does 1400. And Sean is also holding in there. So yeah, those 3 guys are at the moment trying to chase #1 position in the event, which was currently held by Hakim Tun from Malaysia. He has won a PBA title this year, Hakim. the first PBA title for a Malaysian bowler.
Yes, sir.
And this guy is very, very strong, even on not the best days, shooting 80 over at the moment.
Sean Rash back to the strike train. Let's see what Ryan does on lane 16.
That was a bit, yeah, I could see it was a little bit out. But as we said before, it doesn't have to go crazy. He just have to take his pairs. 190 is more than enough to make it into the final. If he gets a few more strikes and goes all the way up to 210, lovely. Otherwise, just
Absolutely.
grab the score, put it in the pocket, go have a burger, get back to some energy, stay happy with what you have, and he's gonna bowl a few more squats. So
Oh yeah,
and now he has a perfect idea on what's working and what wasn't working. So that would give him a very good chance to
absolutely,
succeed even more
absolutely.
on following squats.
He's been one of the fastest adapting bowlers in the tournament so far. One bad squat, next one doing pretty great.
Kevin Mellin. Let's see what goes on. It's 5 in a row. 256 potential coming. No problem. We have a machine printing some paper, but we are at the office after all, and things need to be done.
Lane 1 and 2 finished up. Nora Johansson finishing strong. I bet she will figure something out to put those good scores together in some of the next coming squats.
Yeah, that's what we were saying a few games ago. She has been doing a little bit ups and downs, and some games were very good at the beginning on some of the squats. Some of the other squats, she was a little bit better later on. But she surely has the talent. She surely has the potential. So we wouldn't be surprised if she shoots 100 over on the next squat or
Oh,
tomorrow or stuff
absolutely.
like that. But all the action at the moment, it's on lane 13, 14, and 15 and 16. That's where everything is getting cooked. Kevin Mellin is gonna shoot now to try to keep his pace on the way to 256. Let's see.
Ooh, that's a
Oh,
good
that
one.
was a nice held. Eh? It felt like he missed a little bit in, but the ball held there pretty good. Yeah, yeah. The room is there. If you take the right ball and you don't overdo the things,
IQ Emerald.
IQ Emerald, that's a very good option as well. Very good shot again by Ryan. He looks very, very comfortable on lane 15. Oh, we almost got the 710 on lane 12. That was very, very close. We see some people already trying different things for the next squats. Nathan, for example, is throwing high-speed shots around the 7-8 board on the right side. Ethan, he seems to be bowling a little bit smoother compared to what he was doing a couple of games ago.
There
Remember, a
we go.
couple of games ago, he was flying the ball. It wasn't working for him. Now he's letting the ball skid through the lane, and it looks a lot better. Sean Rash, now he gripped it a little bit. He's a little bit upset. He didn't like that one.
Make your spare and get on striking again.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he's got the job done. He doesn't have to overdo. It's the same thing we said with Ryan before. You just need to make sure you make the marks, and you're going to be on the final. And that's the main goal. You have more squats to bowl later on and do something different.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta set one good score to make it into the final, because it's gonna feel a little different than the qualification squats anyway. They'll have to
Absolutely.
figure it out yet again in the finals.
That looked better. Yeah, it was a
Oh
lot
yeah.
better now. That was a very good shot by Ryan. He's got a double. He's already back on par, and he still have the 10th frame to go for 220, and that would put him on 1380 something. That would be enough to overcome the score that we had as a current leader, which was Hakim with 175 over. And Kevin Mellin now facing the 10th frame. Could go all the way to 1370. He gripped it a little bit more this time, yeah. And it was, a good pin action, because 3-6-10 with the 8, the 9, sorry, it wouldn't have been as easy as just a 3-6-10. It's not that 3-6-10 is that easy. It's one of the ones I chop from time to time. But I prefer it than having the 9 also.
We'll have to disappoint Linda though. No
No
1426.
1400s. Linda, the crystal ball did not work this time. But you're welcome to
I just
do a new prediction for the next squad. Maybe she meant that Ryan is going to
yeah,
qualify with 1426 at any of the squads.
possibly,
That could be
possibly.
also.
I just saw something interesting on lane 12. Hakim Tun just switched his strategies again, going much straighter with the Infinity Quest just like he started.
All right. Kevin Mellin managed to make the spur. So he's going to shoot 1356. That's going to earn him a spot into the final. 100% guaranteed. Well, not 100%, but 99% guaranteed. And now it's going to be Sean Rush. He can take the lead if he strikes out. That would put him on 1377.
Yes, sir.
But it also depends on what Ryan does in the 10th frame. So we could have 2 new leaders on the total scoring of the event. And it looks like we're going to have 3 bowlers making it into the final on this squad. It definitely has been a higher pace scoring on this squad.
Yes, sir.
We have seen less issues than we have seen on the days before, which is bringing us back to what we said a couple of days ago. We don't want to see that many strong covers, strong core balls, because the lane does not really need that much action from the ball. You want something that crosses the middle of the lane. And there's Sean Rush getting the strike. He looks very happy now.
Let's see what Ryan does on lane 15.
That could be good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that was very good indeed. All right, 2 more, and he's going to be the new leader of the event with 180 over. So 1 more shot to see what goes on. And Sean could also overcome the score that Hakim previously had. To do that, he needs to do another 2 strikes. But once you're in the final, you don't really care if you're 1 spot higher or 1 spot lower. You still have some more squads to figure out if you can do even a little bit more and secure a spot on the step 1.
Oof.
Yeah.
A little much, but still a good score.
Wasn't the best of the shots he did today. He's going to be right below Hakim with 1367. Hakim has 1375, and now everything is in the hands of Ryan.
Looks good.
10 pin.
Oof.
And
2-8.
even more. Was a little bit different, but it's still a good score. He saved the game. He shot a split on frame 2, so very happy for him. It's going to be a 209 unless he surprises with a backup spare and he takes them all. I wouldn't try. I would just try to take 2 and secure my 1375. Actually, if he takes 2, it's going to be tight with Hakim. Oh, he's taking 1, so 1374. Great performance, though, by Ryan. It was very, very nice to witness. I'm just going to get out there and do a very quick interview. So I'm going to actually ask him if we were right, if what we were watching here,
Yes,
if
sir.
he really has gone for weaker balls and weaker release, just trying to let the ball do the job instead of forcing it to do it. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much for all the comments and the participation you had with us. It makes the streaming a lot more interesting. We'll be right back after the lanes are dressed. The next squad starts at 7 o'clock Swedish time, 7 o'clock Central European time. That would be 6 hours less in New York, 6 hours more somewhere. But I'm just thinking about the guy from Tokyo. If he was really in Tokyo, maybe he has fallen asleep. It must be very late over there. But thank you very much for watching. The channel will still be on. We're going to drop the mics for a little while. And obviously, thank you for being in here with me. Thank you for the commenting. And we wish you the best of luck. You're bowling now, right?
Correct, Luis. Thank you so much for having me. It's been very fun.
Best of luck. Thank you very much.